Anyway, you guys have heard the news about the Gulf oil spill, and of course a lot of it's underwater, and so we don't get to see what's going on, but I thought it'd be really useful just for a minute to get a guest who does know something about it. And of course, we've got Mr. John Amos from skytruth.org. So, John, tell us a little bit about skytruth.org, and I'm going to put up this last map that you've got here today as well.
Well, we're a nonprofit organization that uses satellite images to investigate and to illustrate environmental issues and environmental incidents like this fatal, tragic, ongoing spill in the Gulf.
Yeah, you really have to yell, John, in your phone.
Okay.
So I've got this map up here that's got the categories, and it's got red dots on here, and it's got green dots and stuff. So tell us what is the loop current, because that's what I hear about. This kind of loop current thing, which I think is gonna take us somewhat from right here up in the Gulf of Mexico, and I think it's going to take the oil, which is underwater. Of course, we can't see it. Up the East Coast. Could you tell us a little bit about that, and should we be worried? I mean, and maybe give us an update on what's going on down there from your vantage point.
Well, the last satellite image we got of the slick, the oil slick, was taken yesterday, and it shows that the oil slick is spread across an area almost as big as South Carolina, and parts of it are clearly caught up in this loop current. Now, the loop current is like a conveyor belt in the Gulf of Mexico. It's a current that flows through the eastern part of the Gulf and then out through the Florida Straits, and when it hits the Atlantic coast, we call it the Gulf Stream. So some of the oil is clearly being caught up in this. We don't know how far it's going to go. Good news for New Yorkers is that the Gulf Stream, really, when it gets about to North Carolina, it heads out across the Atlantic Ocean and really heads toward northern Europe. So hopefully you won't be seeing any oil from this on your beaches. But for New Yorkers, I would consider this a serious a warning shot, because just a couple weeks before this spill started, the Obama administration announced a plan to allow offshore oil drilling on the Atlantic coast from Florida all the way up as far as Delaware. And we're seeing oil from this spill that's gone more than 300 miles away from the source of the leak on the seafloor. Delaware is just about 125 miles from Raritan Bay. So if they allowed drilling off Delaware or even Maryland or Virginia, and we had a spill of this magnitude, then that might be an immediate concern for people even as far north as New York.
John, you know, I had this thought, and it occurred to me one night, is why don't they just get a submarine and shoot a missile down the hole and blow it up and compact it that way and stop the leak up?
You know, we're hearing lots of very creative ideas like that. And it's just that in water that's a mile deep, everything is so much more difficult than you would imagine. It's just a very hard environment to work in. It's dark, it's cold, the pressure is really high, and you've got this jet of oil and gas coming out of this well, also at high pressure. So the engineering challenges are really unique and immense in this environment.
Got it. Well, listen, John, we thank you for your update, and I would encourage everyone to go to your site. It's called skytruth.org. And, you know, you guys can track the, I'm not doing such a great job of pulling up the satellite images, but there's all sorts of satellite images and pictures and all sorts of stuff on here that people can look at. And I guess it's important that we stay involved, because we're lucky it's not near us, but it could so easily be near us, I guess, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, if this plan for drilling goes forward, then, you know, we could see these kind of rigs working off the Atlantic coast, again, as close to you as Delaware.
Okay, so who should we contact to kind of stop that, you think?
Well, you know, I think if you're interested in that, you should start writing letters to your politicians and letting them know how you feel about it.
Okay. Well, listen, John, thank you very much for the update. We really appreciate it. I feel a little better that the oil's not coming up here, but I'm still distressed that it happened.
Yeah, it's certainly a tragic accident. You know, we need to remember that 11 people were killed in this explosion that started the spill, and there seems to be no end in sight at this point. I hope they can fix it soon.
I do too. Well, John, listen, thank you very much for joining us, okay?
All right, thanks, Tony.
We really appreciate it. Take care.